and I don't know why. Like, World of Warcraft is any better. That is, WoW is shit. Yep. WoW is shit. You all know it's shit. Why are you guys still holding on to WoW?
It's crack, and they're addictive.
No, it's not that it's crack. Trust me, there's nothing addicting over it. They're stuck there because it's become a habit. More than an addiction, it's a habit.
When it comes down to it, the reason why people are in World of Warcraft is just because they have so much time invested into it that they simply have trouble leaving it. We had this discussion about Rift. Why wasn't Rift particularly successful? And minus their corporate cheerleading to the contrary, it was not particularly successful from our perspective, which was every single person we sent to Rift left it within 3 months. That's not a good sign. It means that people who were part of the World of Warcraft branch who were looking at a new game found that it was essentially so similar that they asked them, why am I moving to Rift when it's essentially just another World of Warcraft? I'll just go back where my tune is already built up and I have so much time invested. And most people never looked back. We also discussed, well, what will it take for them to leave World of Warcraft for another MMO? And the answer is, well, it has to be a bit of a change of pace. I think that Star Wars being a sort of a sci-fi future fantasy setting is a sufficient enough change that people will be interested in leaving. But as far as we were talking about earlier on, the reason why we're having this discussion is, why are we going Republic as our primary PvP guild? And the answer is, back when we played Warhammer, most people went Sith, or rather the destruction side, the same reason that they're going to go Sith. It's the bad guy side, they want to have the cool black armor and red lightsabers or whatever else it is. But that's going to have a situation where most of the PvP guilds in particular are going to be gravitating towards the bad guy side. And that's not actually good for gameplay. And we did a review of the number of Republic PvP guilds in the West Coast with us here, and it's virtually none. I was shocked. I kept looking for the information, and the only people going Republic were a bunch of PvE and RP guilds. That's not good. So we want to make sure that people who are transferring over to Star Wars as a PvP organization aren't facing massive queue times, can go out into the PvP legs, find people to fight, and have that instant gratification for entertainment. Because you're going to get over your red lightsaber pretty damn quick, but you're going to be very bored if you have no one to fight at endgame after you've gone through that entire process. And believe me, Star Wars is a very substantial process when it comes to leveling. It's going to take you months to get to max level. You don't want to get there and find out, oh wow, all the other kids went Sith 2 and I have no one to fight on my server and we're going to all ditch out out of sheer boredom. So that's the long term.
I think we just need to stream this. Are we streaming this now?
Yeah, it's recording.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember talking to you specifically when I was signing up for SWTOR with you. I was like, when I looked at you guys signed up for Empire.
I don't see it on.
No, it's Frapsing. It's Frapsing the conversation.
But
okay, gotcha.
I remember the conversation very clearly. I was like, why aren't you guys going Republic? Because I looked at the list and everybody was Empire. It's like all the PvP when you search Empire. It's like, why are we going to go Empire? And then we switched. Yeah,
Underdogs faction for PvP,
which is good.
Just because it's more entertaining to have, go out there and find plenty of enemies to fight. And overall, it's better for everyone involved, because the Sith there need someone to face off against. So obviously, we do want to see the Sith side. I mean, it is cool, stylistically it looks great, the entertainment value's there, but that's not appropriate for what we're trying to do in PvE. So we're going to make that a PvE focus for our Sith branch. All of our PvPers are going to overwhelmingly be moving over to the Republic side, and that's for the good. And we'll make a much bigger name for ourselves doing that, and it'll be much more fun for everyone else involved. I mean, I'm looking.
You basically need a Runus versus Runus.
Well, in Warhammer Ultimate, it ultimately come down to that, unfortunately, but that's not the solution. We have a serious competitor, an adversary out there that can provide us with a challenge. Right now, Dara McIntyre has stepped up to the plate on it. They have some fairly substantial egos when it comes to this sort of thing, but we'll see whether they can actually come through with their boasting.
Justice will prevail.
I think a lot of people are going to make a mistake by splitting up their time. Even if, like, I mean, honestly, playing this, like, when I play PvP, like, the idea of me going, I think I'll log on my PvE character is so not going to happen.
Well, some people really do love their PvE, and that's great. I mean, it's just that that's not where I'm at. I think that PvE is training mode, and that really the whole strength of these online multiplayer games is that they are multiplayer games, and when it comes down to it, PvE is still a scripted event. No matter how well done it is essentially scripted. There might be some different conceivable changes on fights, but for the most part they're repetitive and you're just grinding out bosses, and that gets pretty tired pretty quick. Whereas if you're fighting living, breathing human beings and guilds with reputations and pride and a lot of experience playing, it's much more interesting and dynamic. There's a whole social component to it, and also there's the whole shit talking and rivalry and everything else that comes out of it, which is entertaining. Seeing the people who sputter around and make excuses on forums and, you know, cry to the tune of thousands of forum posts about losing to you guys in PvP. That's entertainment. That's engrossing. That's a much bigger experience. Now, when you are the best PvE guild, the best you get is maybe a few grads for being the top, you know, guild on your server or getting a boss down first, but it's nothing compared to the amount of impact you have when you're fighting against hundreds of actual living, breathing human beings, fighting them, beating them, you know, wiping them out. So realistically,
well, I don't know, Insidia gets a lot of coverage.
Right. I mean, if you look at the guilds that really made an impact in that regard, really well known, guilds like Good Squad. Why are they so well known? It's, well, they went out and they were some malicious PvPers, and they got known for not only going out there and being a successful PvP guild, but for the amount of drama and, you know, forum entertainment that they generated. And that's something I think.
And don't forget numbers, thousands and thousands and thousands of them.
Absolutely.
And they are dedicated. They are everyday players, and they are hardcore. It's literally thousands of them on at the same time. Gotta hand it to them on that. Of course, they're all spread around the world.
Well, they have every class just ready to go. If you need this, they log on it.
I mean, there's certain things they do which I don't agree with, but realistically, it's not a bad model to look forward to in terms of making a name for yourself. So that's the decision.
I hope they come over. I hope they come over. In fact, I'm talking to Wolf about maybe